Build around a topic or a character. Let them choose or have something fun. If you're working with little guys, it's very useful to be tied in with Korean culture, right? Who knows who Polly is? Polly. The little car that drives around and helps people, right? Pororo, but those are like really small kids, right? Power Rangers, Action Force. Those are great topics for elementary students. For this one, we talked about dinosaurs. I had a whole bunch of boys in class. Boys like dinosaurs. So we spent some time talking about dinosaurs, using adjectives, adverbs, building some sentences. So they put the words together in our sentences, and then we went and put them together again, and now we had a really long conversation using and, but. They built these long sentences all based around our character, George. He was George the dinosaur. Right? And so they went home, they wrote about George the dinosaur and brought their homework back in. And they got excited because they're writing about what they want to write about. This, funny, I told earlier, I was done on Wednesday. My PowerPoint was done. This morning I wake up, I'm a tech guy. I come from a tech background. I ended up loving to teach English. So I will look at my newsfeed in the morning, and on my newsfeed it says, hey, new application, shake a phrase. I was like, that's in my PowerPoint. Quickly, add a new slide, right? What it is, look at this. What I just showed you, using cards, they have on Androiders, I'm sorry. I sent them an email. But if you have an iOS, it works great, right? Shake a phrase. An elderly soccer mom dribbled past the gnarly softballer on the oval. How can we use that in class? Any ideas? Vocabulary. Guys, what's gnarly? Right? We're going to pick out the words we don't know. We're going to give them words that we do know. Right? Every time you shake it, it makes some crazy sentence. All right? If you actually own the phone, if you actually own the app, then you can say, all right, verbs and or nouns, so touch. Right? So we're making sure that they can pick out what the verbs are, pick out what the nouns are. Finally, they give you a story. We teach many classes throughout the year. We teach many classes throughout the day. And you're like, oh, did I talk about Jack and Jill went up the hill? Oh, I forgot. This one gives you a whole bunch, like 150 story prompts. Right? What if an embarrassing banshee turned into a friendly minotaur? Now, we have our developing student, that's their first sentence. Well, that wasn't disadvantageous. Is this power on? Dude, IT guy.
You knew you were an IT guy, so...
Yeah, I put on a tie, I'm done. I outsource when I put on a tie. You got to be willing to deal with technology, right? So thank you for a few moments. Give me a second here. Yeah. Thank you. It said power on the holder here. It says power.
I know you like the colors with the green and stuff. Are you into that too, with the color-coded stuff up to right?
For the earlier levels, just so that visually we can throw it out, yeah. But once you get the basics down, they don't necessarily need it, right? Oh, there we go. All right? No, come back. Good morning. We're changing video adapters. All right, finally, for your remember we're talking about our story prompts? You can choose the story prompts. So you can talk about animals, fairy tale, monster, sports. So the boys are involved, the girls are involved. Just looks like a really wonderful app for you as a teacher to have in class, or at least have a resource at home that you can make your own phrases to bring into class when you're having those really long, your brain just gets dead. So you want some help. This is a quick way of helping you out. Exemplars. I mentioned I'm a doctorate student, and I go to the first class, I get my first example. It's like, teacher, what's the exemplar? Right? I want to get inside the head of my teacher. I want to know what the teacher thinks is good, what the teacher thinks is not acceptable. And as a teacher, we owe it to our students to provide them with examples at every level so they know the same thing. Right? Using books, we can give them, all right, these are the topic ideas that I think are important. And after they do that, we can get them to write their own. Through context, we know that this is going to be a future story. We're going to talk about the future. So all their verb tenses have to agree, because we're always going to talk about people in 200 years. And so they filled it out. Another schoolhouse rock. Adverbs, adjectives. No video, sorry. But lolly, 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 get your adverbs here, unpack your adjectives. Those are great examples for giving kids, sending them the URL, let mom watch them. They're very friendly, and they explain a lot. Especially that horrible he, she, him, right? Korean, we just don't have it. It's just not part of the nature. So that's a great way of introducing it with Alexander Xavier. No one wants to say that word 3 times fast. But the video does it. It does a really good job. Another kind of game, right? Talking about adjectives, adding the game part. Put some cards on the side, add the leap, have them put together. Now we have quickly, make a sentence. Right? One team puts the words together. Our spelling, right? Some words have to be spelled differently. So get them to match the right ones. One team collects the word, the other team makes the sentence. Then they mix it up. The other team makes some words, and the other team makes some sentence. Group work is always happy. Sticky boards are fun, right? Velcro tape, zip tape. Use over and over and over again. Right? Don't be afraid to do timing events. Koreans tend to be very competitive, right? They want to do better. They want to do their best. So here's a set of words in a phrase, and you set the timer. All right, you have 5 minutes to make as many sentences as you can. Xing, 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 xing. You see them, right? One kid's doing, the other kid's writing. All right? And then you compare at the end. It's a timed event, so 비동사, you may want to let them go. Is, are's, agreement. Pick what you're going to focus on. Everything has to be future tense, and then let them go at it. Everything has to be past tense, and then let them go at it. If they forget an or an un, give them some slack. They're under a time constraint. They'll have a lot of fun. Finally, let's get to the fluency part. Technical difficulties. We talked about going from words to sentences in writing. We talked about going from sentences to paragraphs, right? More complexity. Putting a train of thought together. Eventually, you want to take independent paragraphs and turn them into thematic stories, so we're expressing ourselves. And now, those stories have to have a voice, right? Are you being persuasive? Are you just reporting the facts? Are you going to express your opinion? This is advocacy for the child, that once the child hopefully will go to some sort of Western environment, and in that Western environment, they're going to need to know how to write with a voice. Be it for a business, be it for the university, be it for a high school, be it with a girlfriend on pen pal. They'll still have to have a voice in their writing. One great way is using these examples. One target. You can do it as an individual, as a group. Find out what are our 3 points for that mind map. As an individual, this is kind of daunting. Right? As an individual, trying to find out the ideas that all go with an earthquake and tsunami and damages. Make it group work. Split it apart. One group, you're in charge of the earthquake. One group, you're in charge of the tsunami. Right? Bring it all back together again as a teacher. Now the class has all the information they need to write different types of stories. So what looks like a daunting individual task becomes a very easy group activity, which the students are comfortable in creating their own narrative. Work as a class, they're taking their learning and now they're putting it into a form right? Looks familiar? Right? This is very familiar for us Westerners, right? Doing our outline, getting it written. And it'll become very recognizable and easy for them. We're going from pictures to sentences to writing. Yeah, right? I hate listening to students. What are you writing? Right? My teacher's making me do this. I don't want them to write because their teacher's making them to do it. I want them to do it because they want to do it. Let them tell a story about pink princesses on a purple planet. Right? Have fun. Let them create humor. Let them express themselves to scare the boys in the class. Right? A bug walked across the floor. That's good. Let's have some fun with it. A gross bug crawled across the... Right? See what we're doing? We're using a secondary and tertiary language. The beautiful bug danced. All right? Isn't that fun? As a teacher, we would love to see these sentences on our paper, right? But how many times we get this because they have to do it, right? So encourage these imaginative verbs, imaginative writing skills. Active voice, passive voice, PP. Right? It's very hard in Korean. And I will admit that I defer past participle to Korean teachers. They have a better opportunity to describe the language and describe how it works. However, you can still do it in class without ever speaking Korean, right? Is written, has been written, would have been written. Give them an example, have them follow the pattern. Give them the context you want them to write in, okay? Don't make it so scary. Give them the vocabulary words, right? We have the present tense, the past tense, and say, all right, we're only using third column. Fold the paper, fold their books. They're only using those PP in Korean books, that last column of words. Let them use those irregular verbs. Have fun. Sarcastically. All right? Now, we're talking about fluency. I didn't talk about age. Little 8-year-old boy. For him, he's fluent. Now, will he always write this kind of sentence? No. As a student, he will grow, learn vocabulary, become a better person. But for him, that's a very fluent type of sentence that he's written. And he wrote it on his own. He expressed his own feelings. This gal over here, she's also very fluent in English now for writing. Don't worry about the age groups. Concentrate on the skill set that they have regardless of the age. What are we looking at? Beginners, words to sentences. That's our goal. That's what we want them to do. Right? How are you? Happy. Right? I am happy. That's what we're trying to get them to go to. The emerging one, now we want those sentences. Teacher, I see a purple panda. Right? And then get them to go from I see a purple panda at the zoo, blah, 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 blah. They write a little paragraph. Developing now, those paragraphs become a theme. Last Saturday, on summer vacation, I went to the zoo, and now they're telling us our story. And finally, now they're creating a verse. Hello, David Jones, the reporter, here at the zoo, the purple panda. They're creating a narrative. They're reporting the story. They have their own voice. The book's in front of you, right? You're here because we have books. Good books, right? Let them help guide you along the way, right? The book 1, book 2, book 3. And don't be stuck necessarily on the age groups in the books. Help the students at their level and help them to become better students. Right? As they become better English teachers, they'll come back, they'll give you an orange at the end of the day, and they'll love you for it. So the QR code will take you to the English site with the books, and the books will give you more information that you can save for later. Once again, I'm David Jones. I'm here for Compass. I thank you guys for spending your time, and I'm here for any questions that you may have. I'm done.